116,000 followers in 6 days. He grew that account to over 395,000 followers. He got 14,000 followers in a single day. His second account got to 67,000 followers in less than a year and more than $100,000 a year in profits. All of this without zero paid ads or any promotions, and only posting once a week on TikTok, if that. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Evolve Marketing Podcast. My name is Andrei Yermojev, and I am here with my co-host Brian Brewer. Today, we have the pleasure of interviewing someone that has been secretly crushing it on TikTok for many years. And he's very concerned about how many people struggle with this platform. So he's here to help you guys out. He's got a simple formula called his Micro Live webinar. So stick around if you want to learn what that means. So guys, without further ado, Paul, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great to have you. I got super excited when I found out that you were coming on the show because I don't think we've ever had any communication, definitely not face-to-face. I'm not even sure if we've ever texted or messaged each other. But once I found out who you were and put it together and realized I knew who you were, I got really excited because I remember a couple of years ago, everybody was abuzz about the way you were selling a high-ticket affiliate course. So maybe it makes the most sense to start there because that's how my relationship or my knowledge of you started. So thanks for being here. If you could jump into maybe just a quick little backstory of how you got started with this whole affiliate digital marketing game, and then take us into first, what the heck is a Micro Live webinar?
All right. I guess to answer those two questions, let's just go right to the Micro Live webinar, and I'll kind of give you a backstory of how I got started. So for me, I figured I had to make a process of where I can educate people, excite people, and really handle objections and really answer questions. With short form content, one of the things that make it so attractive is the everyday average person can say, I only have to be on camera for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and I can make this content and point them to our products and services. And it's easy to consume for the actual consumer, right? But in order for us to get people to know us, like us, trust us, to get them to pull out their credit card to buy something from us, we have to do much more than what a 30-second video, a 60-second video can accomplish. So when I started doing the Micro Live webinar, it was a way for me to take technically Russell Brunson's perfect webinar script and put it in live form in a format that I can use on TikTok. And basically what it did is it put people through never hearing of this before, the stats and everything around it, the aha moment for people to make things click. And I taught them how to actually do this without purchasing anything. Then I sold them on the education on there's a bunch of other moving pieces. So it's kind of hard to explain, but I started making PowerPoints about it and then teaching people everything about it and the things they wanted to accomplish that would foster and put people through a sales a sales presentation. And it was working for me big time. Probably 80% of my sales and 80% of the commissions that I got came from a Micro Live webinar. And when I was doing all of this stuff, I was like, man, there's a lot of people that are struggling out there with two things: content creation and getting sales on this platform. So I tried to say, how can I teach these two things and really get people to understand if they can figure this out, their content doesn't have to do all the selling and converting for them. If they can spend 1 hour a day, 1 hour every other day, 1 hour 2 times a week by just getting in front of a bunch of people and handling objections and selling those programs. And it's working out for me and a lot of my clients.
That's super interesting. I mean, you say, right, you're posting once a week, if that, right? Just regular videos. But then how often are you doing those Micro Live webinars?
Well, when I was actually trying to make as much money as possible and I was focusing on one thing, I would do them once a day. I actually had fun. Believe it or not, whether I was making money or not, there was people coming on there as like, oh my gosh, I learned more from you than anyone else. You've answered all these questions. You showed me what websites to use. And it was making me feel so good. And for that feeling, in the conversations I was having with my girlfriends and my family and stuff, I was just like, I feel more happy about the people that go from 0 to 1,000 than the people who go from 10,000 to 20,000 helping. And I had to find myself in a place where I had to say, all right, yes, I obviously want to feed my family. I want to make money and all those things. But at the end of the day, my sanity is very important. And if I can just do these micro live webinars and get off here where everybody's hoorah and saying, Paul, you're amazing, I probably have 1,000 screenshots of people that told me I changed their life and I kept them all. I always ask for permission, but when they're on my live, I made extra this, I did this, I did that, or whatever. So now I have over 1,000 screenshot testimonials of people saying I did something for them because of my lives. So when people ask me for social proof, I say, go out there and teach people for free. 100%. It's like, oh, I don't have any testimonials. I haven't helped anybody. Well, my micro live webinars has made all of that stuff possible for me. So now I can run ads and market to the things that people have been saying, and they're happy to share that. People reach out to me and give me video testimonials, all because of something I helped them solve for free on a live webinar that also made me money.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget, and I know I talked about this a moment ago, but I'll never forget when, we were through Legendary Marketer is the common thread that we have. That was the high ticket program that you were promoting at the time, and later on in the episode we'll get to where you shifted to and what you're doing now. But I'll never forget, it was like back in those early days of TikTok, everybody was kind of doing the same thing. A lot of people were modeling what I did. And then Andre burst onto the scene and crushed it over on Instagram. So a lot of people started modeling what he did. Another gentleman who's been on the podcast, Josh Smith, he went over to Facebook and started crushing it. So everyone kind of started modeling what he did, and it was working, which was great. So that built a lot of excitement. But then we heard about Paul and his micro live webinars, and it was like, here's this completely new thing. And so I appreciate you giving us kind of the general framework that you were using. The first question that came to my mind about those micro live webinars actually comes through some of the students I've helped. It involves one of the main concerns with going live on TikTok. Obviously, once people get past the whole, I don't know what to say, which you can help them if you structure a webinar, right? Then if you have a structured webinar you're going to run, then obviously the flow of what you're going to say. But one question I have for you, and I don't know the answer to this, is on a live, people are coming in, people are coming out, people might come in 20 minutes into it. Like, how do you not care about those people who aren't there from the beginning? Or like, how does that work? Because I guess is the only question I have, because I have no idea.
It's awesome because it's two different things. Let's address the people coming in and out. So if you plan these and schedule them on desktop, then you can have the majority of your people that may be seeing your content that know you go live at 7 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, or whatever it is. So the majority of people that come in there, believe it or not, they're going to be answering questions for the people that come in because they want you to keep going. And as they stay in there, they're going to be like, okay, when can I see this again? Next thing you know, they're going to catch you on the next one. Now, I'll be transparent and honest. Right now, I'm doing it kind of on a whim. Like after I get off of here, I'm going to be really excited to share what happened on, podcasts and be invited on here. So I'll probably go live. I posted a video. Usually I wait about an hour to actually go live because you kind of get a little push if you go live after you post a video. The second thing that I do is I remember when Russell Brunson, this was years ago, probably before I ever TikTok was not even a thing, I don't think. But I remember when Facebook Lives was a thing, and I was on Facebook and we were going live, and I remember I said, I'm gonna go live for 365 days because Russell Brunson, everybody told me to do this. And one of the things he would say is, hey, everybody, let me know if you're tuning in, put a 1 in the chat and all this other kind of stuff. So I'm like, how can I make it to where on the psychological side, people want to somewhat put their name on something or piss on something, for the lack of better terminology. So I would get on at the beginning of my lives and I would say, let me know what state, what country you're tuning in from, what's your biggest concern. You guys are on here right now. My videos usually get up to 100 people and I can't answer everyone's questions. But if you guys engage right now, I will use you as a priority to make sure that I answer your questions because you're a first early comer. Now, what that would do is get people commenting and sharing and doing stuff, and I can engage with them, which ultimately tells TikTok to send me more people because I'm getting engagement. So I pay attention to the numbers. So if I got 20 and it's hovering there, I'm talking to them as it. Now when it comes on and it's just went to 55. Hey guys, we got a lot of new people on here. I want to reintroduce myself. Just bear with me. I appreciate you guys being on here. And I would kind of do the same thing, but I would pay attention to those numbers every time I get another kick and a fluctuation. But and then on the other side, I would tell people, look, this is what I teach you about your lives. Never want to go live. guys do me a favor and I'm gonna prove a point to you. I want you guys to all go in the comments and say something, and then that those numbers are gonna almost double because that's how TikTok works. And it would happen. And people were like, oh my gosh, he's blowing my mind. And it was up my actual views and do all of this stuff. So I'm teaching, but at the same time, ethically manipulating the audience to get them to get me more people in here. So I've showed credibility, at the same time taught them something, and got more viewers into my live, all in the same thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's absolutely amazing. For them, I'm the guy now. So those are the type of things that I do to make sure that I can, communicate and provide my value. But when it's an issue, I prove a point when those people are coming in, and it shows them I have more value as well. So it's like a double-edged sword.
That's super interesting because I have joined one of your micro live webinars before, and you don't go straight to the point in the beginning. You wait, you get people excited. You make sure you engage with them. You tell them to engage with the live so the algorithm works in your favor, and then that's how you get more followers at the end of the day, right? But it's super interesting how you do it because you get them excited. You get them excited. You want them to be there.
You have to. I mean, if people don't understand what discovery is all about, it's about entertainment first, right? And if we can entertain and educate, like I've made these pillars and stuff that I have the golden content pillars, and they're educational content, informational content, or should I say entertainment content. And then you have validation content, and you have, sorry, I have it up on my computer right now and I'm having a brain fart. So I'm going to go to reference to that. Educational content, entertainment content, inspirational content, and validation content. I don't care what anyone is talking about on the internet. If it doesn't fall in those content pillars, it's not going to be shared, liked, and saved at a high rate. Now I can go make a piece of content and ask myself, how many of these within one piece of content can I check off? How can I get validation that relates? What are my opinions? And I share my thoughts on industry trends, news, relevant events. How can I tell my story that narrates my story, but aligns with how another person feels? So if I can get their feelings aligned with what I'm talking about, then I can get them moved through some type of process, whether that's to get to a free item or to a sales item. If I go to your inspirational content or whatnot, this is content that is basically going to show some type of transformation, some type of before and after, some type of lifestyle. So as we think about me trying to get people excited at the beginning, of course, social proof is important. Of course, testimonials are important. I get those from my free content without even selling anybody. And I also get them from people that work with me. So at the end of the day, how can I go out there and say, hey, I have no testimonials, I can't do all this stuff? Well, go give people something for free that really solves a problem and get them to say something little. And then ask them, can you use that in your marketing or whatever it is? Of course you can. You gave them something for free. They're going to say yes. Let me show you exactly how I got this client an extra 10,000 followers by just understanding this one thing. What is the one thing, Paul? I really want to know that one thing. Now I'm going out there and keeping that excitement going. I do that in my content. I do it in a micro live webinar. In every aspect, we should be thinking about what's the most exciting part. And I don't mean just money. I mean anything. If something can be easier for someone, if we can use ChatGPT, if we can use any of these things, if we can make people's lives easier, we can really romanticize that and get them excited about staying on our content. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like how you say that, if you make their life easier, or if you give them a solution that makes the process faster, you know what I mean? Or a framework even, or a tool, that's really what people get excited about. If we, I've talked about Alex Hormozi's value equation before on this podcast. And, those two things, the time delay and the effort and sacrifice, those are in the denominator of the equation. If you can drop those as close to zero as possible, that automatically increases the value. And that's what gets people excited. And I love the way you're telling this story, because you keep going back to the fact, like, it doesn't have to be about the money. It can be something totally different. You're giving good, actionable tips for beginners to get started. So obviously, Paul, as we talk to you here, we understand that you are educated, especially in marketing. I don't know what your other background is. Now, you've mentioned Russell Brunson a couple of times already. Is that kind of where all these frameworks came from? You know, I'm not going to make you teach everything you've learned over the past X number of years, but is that kind of a where you got started, or is there something else?
I've been in this industry for about 12, 15 years, believe it or not, but behind the scene, I just thought I didn't want to get on camera. I wanted to run ads to something that I can just get somebody to go buy a program or whatever it was. I still have his Potato Gun DVD from way back in the day. Like, I own that still. You know, it's in somewhere around here, right? So for me, I've been like a fly on a wall in so many different webinars and courses and consuming information that I finally got to a point to where I felt confident to start speaking. And it was all because of short form content. I don't know how many YouTube channels I've abandoned thinking like, I don't really know how to deliver this information. My editing's not good, my lighting and all this kind of stuff. So everyone that's out there right now, every one of you guys watching this podcast, we have never been in a position like this where we can really have a vehicle to deliver information in a way that has the lowest amount of effort that ever before short form content. And also the amount of tools that we have to help us put our verbiage together, ChatGPT, AI, whatever you want to call it, that can help people. Now, I'm going to drop what I would like to call a bomb right now on a lot of people in the affiliate marketing space. Is a lot of people are going out there and there's a handful of people that are crushing it. The stay-at-home moms are hot right now. If I go back to look at when I was on the leaderboard, Brian was on the leaderboard, Andre was on the leaderboard, safe to say it was mostly men that were there. Now there's a lot of stay-at-home moms that have made way more than we've ever made promoting Legendary, right? $1 million people in a year or whatnot. And what I will say are two things. On a psychological level, what I've noticed is men that look like me do not work with me as fast as women that work with me, or maybe someone else that doesn't look like me or whatnot. And it's maybe because men, we have our egos and we have different things that go out there that kind of stop us from saying, who is this guy? I'm not going to give him my money. He's probably just another know-it-all guru guy. I don't want to buy him. Where when someone else could just be in the kitchen cooking and saying, I just make a few videos a day and this is how I make my money. And all I did is went through this program. I don't knock any of that actual content. It's amazing because I know the education is good, you know? So that's the bottom line. How you get people on that education is your thing. But for the people that are trying that method and not getting results, let me show you guys a different way for everybody watching the podcast. I have a few different clients that I taught them not to talk about affiliate marketing, but solve problems around people that are in affiliate marketing that might want to work with them. So ChatGPT Ninja, he's one of my clients. Now we've got on a call and he didn't necessarily want to do affiliate marketing, MRR and all that stuff, but he wanted to have a product before he created his own. We created digital products. He created a digital product and he teaches people how to be very efficient at doing customer research, creating ebooks, doing all of these things. So out of 10 of his pieces of content, 8 of them all talk about ChatGPT stuff. 3 out of the other ones talk about affiliate marketing and MRR, what people are calling it nowadays. I don't master resale rights or whatever they're calling it, roadmap to whatever it is that's been popular in this space. Now he's getting more commissions than a ton of people because he's meeting where people have a problem. Believe it or not, when I created my new page around content creation, I said, hold on. People are having a problem with getting views in the affiliate marketing space, but I know how to get views no matter what. So if I can go teach them how to get views, guess who's going to be in front of me looking to pay me? So now I can teach them how to get more views while selling them on the affiliate marketing side of it. So if I say, if you're somebody who's struggling to try to get views on social media so you can sell your products online, here's how you do it. And they get results from that. They get in my private Facebook group, they buy my digital courses, they buy my programs, they get on my affiliate offers, they use the softwares that I'm using. So I'm solving this problem for people and then selling them all these other things. That's what affiliate marketing should be, right? Like we're solving problems for people. This is the software I use. Here's the other products. Here's another educational program. That's how we should be doing this. So if you guys want to go out there and make a lot of income, figure out how to solve small problems that will bridge the gap to people being more comfortable to pull out their credit card for your other offers.
Yeah, I mean, it's super, it's those people that are making, 6 figures a month and then $1 million a year. it's helpful for some people, but for most of them, it's very discouraging, especially when somebody's trying to get those numbers, right? It's like super discouraging for them. How were you able to teach that to your students? You know, how to shift from that money mindset of making content into helping them solve a solution or solve a problem?
Really priming their brain on education, right? So if I go out there and I say, if I give the analogy around college, right? We might go to college for 4 years with no guarantee of getting a job. They just told us that with this degree, you can potentially make this money. But not one of us has ever went out there and said, or not necessarily not one of us, but most people don't go out there and say, we don't need college. We assume and we almost know higher learning is a thing. So if I get on camera and I say, here's how you make a lot of money by understanding education is the number one thing, I attracted them by saying that, and then I said something that's obvious, higher learning. Now, here's the kicker. We all have access to information all over the internet without having to buy anything. What we're buying is access and organized, proven methods to do a particular thing. So if I spend $2,500 on something and I know I need to educate myself, then the journey has nothing to do with how much money or how fast I make that money. The journey is how fast can I actually be informed so I have the actual education to go out there and do the things that are going to generate the income. And when people sell the money aspect of it, they're not having that thinking process. So when people are signing up for a lot of my programs, they're already going into it saying, the education, I can't wait to learn, I can't wait to learn, I can't wait to learn, which will lower your returns. It will do a lot of things for your business that to make you have better sleep at night. And that was the one thing that was most important for me, is feeling good about what I was selling, because I knew the education was good, but selling it in a way that I wasn't trying to attract to people about the outcome. That's obviously one of the most desirable things, is making money, staying at home, and not having to have a 9 to 5 for a lot of affiliates and stuff like that. And successfully without a job for 5 years now. So I'm pretty much know what I've been doing in this space, I guess.
You've crossed over the barrier, because I went through the same thing. I've been out of the work field or whatever since 2016.
Yeah.
And there's always that point. Usually when you get out, things are going pretty good, and then there's maybe a point where things start to drop off a little bit. And if you can get over that dip, then you're like, oh, you know what? I may have bigger months, I may have smaller months, but I probably never have to go back to the workforce again. So that's always a good feeling. So congratulations on that. That's
Thank
huge.
You, brother. I appreciate it.
One thing you mentioned is you were talking about, I don't remember exactly what you said, because I might be confusing it with what you said in our pre-interview, but basically your sanity.
Yeah, no problem.
I want to talk about that right now, because when you were doing the Micro Live webinars daily and you were selling Legendary Marketer, you were doing well, $35,000 a month, commissions, free content, so organic traffic. So basically that's all profit. Yep. And that's great. That's pretty much, unless you want to fly private and buy a yacht, that's pretty much more money than you can spend, at least from my experience.
100%. Sure.
But you really weren't happy with maybe the desires that you were creating in the viewers, yep, or maybe the experience that happened to folks after they purchased from you.
Yeah.
So you decided to shift a little bit. Now, I know from our pre-interview that your hand was forced a little bit, but also you had this idea before you lost your account to spoil the surprise. So I think this can be valuable for a lot of people. What do you like? What's the process? What did it look like for you, where you're sitting here, you're crushing it, but you're not happy, so you want to shift? Can you take us through that transition in your own words?
Yeah, and to give the viewers a little bit of context about this, when we were talking about before, I had a $32,000 month and a $35,000 month, and it was amazing. But I started thinking in my head, and this could have been just me because I didn't have any bad experiences with returns or people. I started experiencing in my head that I was too good at selling these programs by probably minimizing the difficulty and romanticizing the ease. And if I'm good at that, I'm selling. But if the people think that going into the education, they're probably going to think it's a lot more difficult. And I literally was staying up at night. I was getting like 3 hours of sleep, just thinking, what can I do better? What can I help these people with? And talking to my girlfriend and all this stuff. And it was an issue for me. So before I lost that big page, I actually started promoting a program that I thought was more aligned with me just teaching people the number one revenue generating task. And it didn't cost them more than $125 to run that actual software. And we go out there and promote it. And they had an offer that I was like, let me just start a free Facebook group and teach everybody everything. And within 1 month, I got 2,100 people into a group. It was actually in probably 3 lives and like 5 pieces of content. Got 2,100 people into this actual group, and all like a lot of them were paying for this software, and it's a recurring thing. We were all using it. So I'm like at $2,100, $21,000 recurring monthly income in this group. And I was like, they're only paying $125 a month. I'm teaching them. This is amazing. So it was much better. I lost that account. And while I was in there teaching people, I was just like, all right, there's a lot of things that are changing with the Canvas. I need to create another page that only talks about content creation. So I started geeking out. I started looking at a lot of stuff. And if I'm getting off subject a little bit here, I apologize. But I started geeking out on a lot of different content and started making these pillars and guides and stuff. And I was like, let me test these with people that I know and everyone. And they started getting results. So for me, whether you were doing affiliate marketing, you were a skincare person, you were, I mean, working with so many different wide ranges of clients, I just felt much better. And I just feel amazed about the people that come on and say positive things. So for my sanity, this was a much better route for me of not trying to make as much money as possible, but to help as much people as possible. And even if I'm making less money, I feel better about it. So like you said earlier, $30,000 a month is absolutely amazing, but I can live on a lot less than that. So my sanity is more important with me. And I have other business things going on the side that doesn't require me to exchange value with humans. They're not business, they're, you know what I mean? So they're not peer-to-peer type of transactions. So I'm like, okay, this is cool to be able to do this because I can help people. But to have my sanity attached to the potential human on the other side that they might take a loss, it wasn't good for me.
Yeah, so you didn't completely blow anything up and switch markets. You just kind of shifted your focus a little bit. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Think about it, right? 90% of the people in content creation, or should I say affiliate marketing right now, think they're struggling with getting views and stuff. No, they're struggling with marketing. But if I get on camera and say you're struggling with marketing, this is what you need to do, they're not going to hear me. So I get on camera and say, if you want to get more views and go viral on social media, here are 3 things you must understand. Everybody, wide ranges of people are going to watch that, which allows my percentage to change. Probably only 2 to 10% of the people that see my videos is going to be my ideal customer avatar. But if I'm getting very small views, 100, 200, 300, those people aren't going to be convinced enough to work with me when I'm talking about getting more views. So I have to romanticize and widen up my reach by casting a bigger net. And then throughout my content, I boil down who my target audience is with my call to actions. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to teach everybody to do right now. And a lot of people are missing the point because the verbiage is still catered to YouTube style content where people are like, speak to your core audience, talk to them specifically and call them out. And I'm like, if you do that on Discovery app, you're basically dismissing 90% of the people that see your video when you're scrolling. So think about the most romanticized thing that you can talk to a wide group of people. And then as you're teaching them with your call to actions, boil down who you serve.
That's super interesting. I mean, at some point, right, you know, I was making so much money as well, but then I didn't feel fulfilled, right? Yeah, I didn't feel good about it. So then that's why my income went down, but I created my own program and now my income is raising. Same thing happened to you. Like you didn't feel that fulfillment, like just promoting this product, right? I know we started like super strong in this podcast. We went straight to the point with the micro live webinars, but let's backtrack a little bit, right, Paul? You say it's been 5 years since you quit your job. What were some of the pain points? Like, why did you start this whole digital marketing business?
So I wasn't in the digital marketing space. I have 2 patents in my name. I've worked with Shark Branding, and I've always been an entrepreneur-minded person. So for me, I was really excited when I seen internet marketing, whether it was network marketing, whether it was all this type of stuff. My thing was uh, I never wanted a job, not from middle school, not from high school or anything. But the most successful people in my family, my brother was a hip hop artist. He owned his own record label. My uncles had businesses, they were IT businesses. My brother has an IT business. I did not think a 9 to 5 was going to be my route. Went to school, played college ball, all of that kind of stuff. And then I said, I need to figure out something on my own. So I've tried so many different things online to try to figure this all out. And affiliate marketing to me, when I first started it, it was like, I know I want to sell my own digital products online, but if I learn how to market other people's, then when I create my own, it's just transitioning to my own and creating and spending the time. Affiliate marketing is a vehicle for all of us to figure out what we're good at in marketing that's proven by a system that's already working. And then hopefully we evolve to go out there and say, we created our own product, but we also have the potential to go out there and promote your Go High Levels and your ClickFunnels and all this other type of tools that we use in our business to make things easier for us. That, in my opinion, is what affiliate marketing is about. It shouldn't be about only the education.
Really cool. So you mentioned you played college ball. Was that football, basketball, baseball? What'd you play?
Basketball, yeah. I'm a little heavy now. I know you can see it in the cheeks, but I played basketball.
Cool. Where'd you play? Where'd you play for?
Kalamazoo Valley in Western Michigan. Yeah.
No kidding. I didn't.
Yep.
Are you from Michigan? Do you live in Michigan right now, or is it?
I'm from Michigan.
Okay, cool.
Michigan.
Yeah, I'm originally from Michigan. It's been a long time since I lived there, but I live
what
not
part of
too.
Michigan?
I was born not too far from Kalamazoo, down in Sturgis. Lived in the Central area. Know the Kalamazoo area from Bell's Brewery, and my family now lives in
popular around this time.
Yeah, and my family now lives in Spring Lake, which is just a little bit further north. And I was just there for Thanksgiving. Always good to come back, so that's really cool. But the reason I brought that up is because we're in episode 58 or 59. Pardon me, I don't remember which one you'll be. But the bottom line is, now in these relatively small number of episodes, we've had 2 college athletes. We had another person on who played college football. So let's relate that experience to entrepreneurship, because you're a lifelong entrepreneur, you said, or at least you had this vision of wanting to be a lifelong entrepreneur. You've been in the space for 10 plus years. You've been through the challenges, and entrepreneurship is not always easy. And it's even harder because we don't have someone breathing down our neck telling us we have to do. We just have to take it upon ourselves. Yep. So if you can kind of relate like your experience with playing a sport at the college level to entrepreneurship, I think that might be valuable in helping people understand like what they're getting themselves into and why eventually they'll get through if they don't give up.
For sure. And I'll try to do this because there's things in sports that, your competitiveness, your edge, your ability to go out there and increase your skill sets, right? My ability to dribble better, shoot better, be a better passer. All these things are going to make me have an overall better game. And it's easy to understand this when you are playing a sport, right? If I shoot a higher percentage, then I'm going to make more buckets more efficiently. Well, if I increase my conversions by understanding copy and understanding target audience and all of these things, then I can get more people to convert on my website. So if you just shift your mind to understanding increasing skill sets and becoming better at little things that compound, they can 100% be directly correlated. And I think being an athlete is probably, for a lot of people, that's cool. But for all the people that are not athletes out there, and I want to make this straight, I was a weird athlete. I was extremely talented and extremely good at what I did and didn't like sports. Believe it or not. I never watched sports. I still don't watch sports or anything like that. I don't watch football, basketball, I watch a big game. So I think as you said, that made me realize that there is a direct correlation, but I've never really thought about it that way. I know being competitive in business, being competitive in sports is a thing. And of course I am. But more so is thinking about those little things that you can do to increase your skill sets over time. that will have huge impacts down the line as they compound. And I think that's one of the things that people forget in business. Like, I see a lot of affiliates, they go out there and they have these accounts and they take off and they have that $10,000 a month and they think they're just, nothing can touch them. And then the algorithm changes, or people aren't paying attention to that content, or that page gets taken down and it's hard to grow and it's like their business is nowhere. Well, why didn't you collect those emails and get really good at email marketing at that time if we know that that's the highest return on our investment when it comes to all marketing forms and we own that list? Well, why didn't you get better at persuasion? So now that you can, you know what I mean? There's so many different things that people should be thinking about. There's a lot of people that are in space that if it wasn't for TikTok, they might not have made their first dollar online at all.
Yeah.
But there's people that have been successful on the internet before that. We should be studying those people. So every time that I get into space, I go to YouTube first to go figure out, not TikTok. What were people doing on YouTube before? How were they selling it before? So I have spreadsheets on TikTok creators, on YouTube creators, on Pinterest creators that I put these people in there that are in my space doing a good job. And I study them just like I was watching film in sports to bring that back in. So that's kind of how I look at this. And that's the competitive side of it. That's the analytical side of me. And I think those things kind of do tie in. And Brian, thanks for making that analogy. I might put that into my MicroWive webinar presentation.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of analogies, and back to Russell Brunson, the kind of like entrepreneurship is kind of like playing basketball, because you know what I mean. It really helps people to start to understand, because those things are more tangible. But you're absolutely right. I didn't know where you were going to go, and with the benefit of hindsight, I now realize that you didn't know where you were going to go either, but you went to a very cool place because you talked about the incremental skills that lead to compound results. Dribbling a basketball 1,000 times a day or whatever it is, or going between your legs back and forth. That one thing isn't going to make you a starter. But if you haven't mastered that one thing, there's no way you're going to start. And when you talk about like TikTok and stuff, if you master TikTok, you might make some money, but if you don't know the patterns that have led to success over the years before TikTok, the how to write a video sales letter, how to run a webinar, then you're not going to be a starter, or you're not going to be a long-term success in the affiliate marketing space. So I think that was ended up being a pretty cool little moment, and hopefully you can use it as well.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it has to do a lot with the discipline as well, And another thing that you mentioned that you have a Facebook group, right? Also building a community. How important is that?
I think it's really important because certain settings do not allow us to kind of really build that community, really have these different type of conversations, because the way we consume, we can't just, it's being live on TikTok is the only way that you can really have a community over there. Like, they're trying to open up all these other features on that platform to make it easy, like series and, the TikTok shop, and they're doing a great job. That company is dangerously trying to take over the entire space, and I respect it. I get why the politicians are trying to ban it for their bros over here in America or whatnot. But I can really say, after navigating people into a Facebook group, it's more intimate. We can have conversations. They can actually share their posts. I can give feedback. Other people can help me actually help other people because they've learned things that someone missed. So you really can build a community where it's a lot of people in there that are learning and be like, oh, Paul said this last week. Oh, I don't have to go comment on that, but it's still valuable to be inside my group. So I have somewhat authority still. It's absolutely amazing. So a lot of people should definitely consider the right way to start these avenues, or should I say fail forward, because at the end of the day, analysis paralysis is a huge thing for a lot of people in the affiliate marketing space, and they think they got to have everything perfect. You don't. I opened up my last page with no intent to sell, to just see what was going on with the algorithm. I had some really great results with SEO and understanding the 4x4 method. And then after teaching people that, they came back onto my videos and say, I used it, most views ever. I had no idea. I never talked to this person. I've never seen them comment, but they use that. Now I have that as a testimonial. So when I go live, this person used this, and I have this digital guide that I've created to teach you guys this, and now it just starts compounding. I had a call yesterday where a guy was like, man, I wanted to support you, but I never spend money online. I don't believe anybody, but I talked to 2 people in 1 month from different states, and they referenced you when I told them I needed to get my content together. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, but that wasn't this month. This month, I talked to 2 more people in different states, and they told me the same thing, and it was you. And I was like, there's no way. And he was like, man, 4 different states, 4 different people that don't know each other, all told me that I should look into you. And that's what got me on this call. And I was like, whoa. So I needed to over deliver, right? So he can go back to him and say, I'm amazing or whatnot. And I don't even know these people. I've never seen them before.
What was, just out of curiosity, what was his business, or what was he trying to do? Was he trying to be an affiliate marketer?
He's a fitness trainer, and he's looking to get views and create content online. And a lot of people are having a real hard time with fitness stuff because they think they need to go lift 500 pounds or go run faster than the next person or display that they have the best 6-pack in the world. My clients that are getting 2, 3, 4 times as much sales in the fitness space are taking little small issues that people are having and solving it, like calorie deficits through calorie calculators. One of my clients made the same video 5 times, which I kind of teach on Discovery apps, and essentially used a different calorie calculator, different verbiage, and different hooks. And each one of those videos got their most views and have brought people in to say, how can I work with you? And it's because they just solved this small problem, and we really romanticized the outcome of why calorie calculators and understanding your macros are important. And it builds authority because it's more exciting than the person that's in the gym that's saying, here's my 5 exercises for build your glutes or whatever it is. That's cool and that's helpful. But the average person can do that exercise until they have the biggest glutes in the world, but they still might be 5,000 pounds or whatever if they don't understand what calories in, calories out is about. And they've never made that piece of content. Now they've made it 5 times, and it's the most viewed videos every time.
Interesting. So here, I'm going to ask a very selfish question because I co-founded this podcast, but no, let me give a little let me lead into this, I guess I should say. So one of my big goals for 2024 is not to get out of the affiliate marketing space, because I've been in and out of all kinds of different businesses, drop shipping as well, email marketing training and stuff like that. So that's not foreign to me. That doesn't scare me, but I'm trying to take a conversion and lead generation framework that has worked for me, and I want to deliver it to anyone who wants to be a digital marketer, not just an affiliate marketer. But if you need views, if you need leads, and you need conversions, then this is for you. So the question is not how do you attract those people. The question for you, Paul, the selfish question that I have is, how do you take someone in an industry that maybe you're not intimately familiar with? So you're a natural digital marketer. You've got the chops. Obviously, you have experience with affiliate marketing. And I don't know your fitness background. I mean, you're a college athlete, so I'm sure you've lifted a weight or 2 in your life. But my guess, or my assumption, it could be incorrect, is that you've never taken a deep dive. And if you have, choose another niche that this relates to. But how do you look at someone where you're not intimately familiar with their industry and help them understand what kind of content they need to create if you don't have intimate knowledge of their specific industry?
Man, it's crazy that you say this, Brian. Nobody's ever asked me this, but I'll tell you right now what my clients say. They say it's insane how you can get into my space and create hooks and content that I would actually watch. Now, what allows me to do this is I spend 80% of my day studying. 80% of my day is searching keywords that are pretty broad, finding out what the most viewed videos are, and breaking down every second of what they conveyed, whether it was emotional, whether it was a call to action, whether it was psychological or whatever. So if you guys have never heard of the 4x4 method before, you should really watch some of my content and maybe join a live one time, because basically, essentially what I do is say, I don't care what your industry is. If you implement what I'm trying to convey in the 4x4 method, then you can go out there and keep people engaged. At the same time, using a list form of things that will, on a psychological level, since the beginning of the internet, is how we consume information. Every video on YouTube in a list form starts backwards and they're the most viewed videos on there. Here's the top 5 most expensive houses in the world. Here's the top 3 cars in the world. And they start with 3, 2, 1. Why? Because it will be unrealistic and unreasonable for a person not to go from 3, 2, 1. So when I tell people the 4x4 method, whatever industry it is, and I know I'm taking a long roundabout way to tell you this, but let's say I had a skincare client recently. I asked them, I said, well, in the first 4 seconds, we must hook them. I said, what is the most desirable outcome for your clients? Is it hyperpigmentation? Is it dark circles? Is it acne or whatever it is? So now how can we romanticize getting people to run towards pleasure or away from pain in our hooks? If you're somebody struggling with hyperpigmentation and you can't figure out how to get these off your face, then I'm going to show you how a study done by Harvard and vitamin C can solve this problem for you. Now, let me show you the top 3 retinoid products that you can buy right now that will help you with this. By the way, you might want to save this video for later so you don't lose it. Now, what did I just do there? I hooked them. I let them know that I was going to tell them about a problem to their solution. And then I anchored them down by showing a proof study that was done by Harvard or the Journal of Clinical Science or whatever it is. So on an emotional level, I just put this person through everything that they need to have to feel comfortable with staying on my video. And then I told them what to expect. And right when I had them at their peak curiosity, their highest interest point, I asked for a micro commitment, AKA reciprocity. Also, something I learned in marketing. So if I ask you something, or I tell you, hey, I'm going to solve this very desirable pain in your life, all you have to do is save this for later. So now the algorithm's saying, holy smokes, Paul got them to click the thumbnail. Oh, there's no thumbnail, Paul. Your first 5 seconds of your video is the thumbnail on TikTok. If I can get someone to consume that much information and right at that moment, get them to save or like or engage, TikTok's going to push my video out further. So now I just put them through this process, and now I'm going to increase my duration of them staying on there by saying number 3 is retinoid, da, 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 da. Number 2 is this, that, and the other. Number 1 is this. Now at the end of my video, I'm going to have a call to action. Now, to put that in perspective, the 4x4 method is in the first 4 seconds, we must hook them. The second 4 seconds, we need to lower their guard and anchor them on our content by showing some type of proof. This can be social proof. This can be testimonials. This can be stats, studies, statistics. Well, why did I come up with this? Because when I wrote papers in high school and college, I had to cite my work. And because there's so many experts out there on the internet right now, nobody believes anybody. So how can I lower their guard and anchor them in? By using that actual proof, testimonial, or some type of study that was done. So when a person tells me, how do I, in whatever industry, talk about this? I go to ChatGPT and I say, hey, can you show me some studies that are based around losing fat and this? Can you show me some studies that were based around hyperpigmentation and blah, blah, blah? And you cite that work. So we make the hooks, we cite the work, and then we give the solution and we have the call to action. That is how I can frame everyone's niche. It doesn't matter what's going on by using a 4x4 method. And it's been amazing for me and my clients because I can get them all results with this formula.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that 4x4 method. I never put it that way, you know.
I'll send you guys an email for it. I got all the guides and stuff done for it. I'll send it to you.
But that's also the perfect example that skills are transferable. You know, you don't have to stay with and make money online. You can utilize the same skills that you learn with digital marketing and promote whatever you want or change niches if you want. You know, they are transferable. Now, I have a next question. What if somebody is not comfortable speaking on camera? Have you gotten any of those clients that they're like, oh, but I don't know if I can, you know, say the things that I want to say in a comfortable way? You know, what are some things that you help them out with that?
So I do have clients to say that. I tell them to pick a different avenue or get comfortable. I said the reason that you're on my video or you're talking to me or you're on my live is because I'm talking. If I move my face off this screen and don't talk and I start talking to you guys, you won't be listening to me and I can't really gain that trust from you. I can't get you to like me. I can't get you to know me. And if we know that's what's required for us to make sales, then we have to get out our own way. If I can't convince them that, then I say you need to get into blogging. You need to understand how to run ads where you can make 1 well-polished video or 5 well-polished videos and you're sweating and you're nervous, but you scripted them all and you got them done. And now you're running ads to them and you don't necessarily have to do the dog and pony show of being on the screen every time. Like I said earlier in this podcast, I never wanted to be on camera. I never wanted to be. I started so many YouTube channels and like kind of like abandoned them because of what we're talking about right now. But now I've proven to myself that I can help people. So my confidence skyrocketed. So with people that are having the issue, it hasn't an issue about you not being comfortable. It's about your issue and your fear of this not necessarily working for other people, not working for you. There's so many questions you have to solve in your journey to get you to confidence. Mine was, I got onto the short form content. People actually want to hear what I have to say. I actually can help people. Oh my gosh, my experiences, and they're coming back and saying I've changed aspects of their life. I won't say I changed their entire life, but I was impactful.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're doing this, think about how you can be impactful. Like I had a client who was like, oh, I don't know how to monetize. So what did we do? He's a fitness person. We went to ChatGPT. We made him I think it was 25 item grocery list for fat loss and whatever, and we gave it away. Now to sell, we actually put together a meal plan and the recipe guide for it. So everybody that clicked on his actual link to get the free actual grocery list was offered then the meal plan and the recipes to put all of that stuff together. And he was like, we did this in 15 minutes. I said, we have the tools now. We've never before been able to do this. So now we need to use our tools and our resources to go out there to create these things fast, and we can pivot extremely fast in this space. So hopefully I'm not getting off to the subject too much, but
no, that was really cool. Just out of curiosity, when you put together that shopping list and then offered the meal plan, was the meal plan an upsell, or was that just another free bonus that was?
It was. I guess you would say upsell, but we gave away. This is what I did for him exactly. We made a landing page that only had the grocery list, but we made a video because I like talking, you know what I mean? So he was like, so he had a video. I was like, hey, thanks. So we're going to give you the grocery link below. You can click that. But what I've noticed is the grocery list isn't going to solve all your problems. So what I wanted to put together, and I did a little bit extra work for this, is we put together a meal plan, what you're going to eat, and the recipes on how to make it. If you're somebody and you need this, then below you can get that for $17. Very simple by clicking that link. If not, we can get the grocery list to you 100% free.
Right.
Now
Real
people
cool.
landed on that. 62% of those people bought that for $17.
That's super interesting, because then you can flip it and then make it a membership or a subscription base for like every week I'm going to teach you new recipes, and then they just have to subscribe and there you go.
For sure.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's, it goes back to what you were saying about affiliate marketing. You've kind of shifted where you're not calling out to a specific demographic. You're solving a problem and then letting call to actions and filter out the ideal customer. So you're reaching more people. And then affiliate marketing, it might come in through your front door as, hey, a way to get more views. And then you might show them, here's the software I need, here's the tools I need, here's the templates that you need or whatever. So you're basically solving one problem for them, which opens up another set of problems, which you can then sell them, monetize through affiliate links. And it's what works really well, because people buy when they need it, and then they're less resistant to buy.
Yeah.
Now, looking forward, because I love when we get the quote unquote marketing nerds on here, because I could talk for days to folks just like you, Paul. But looking forward, one thing you said is you talked about ads and you talked about content. And I'm just curious, as someone who's spent over six figures in paid ads, but has also generated hundreds of thousands of leads with organic, what's your view on, or maybe your plan on how you're going to use both organic and paid going forward?
I'll be using paid much more 2024. I wanted to really prove to myself that my organic content can create me six figures a year without having to do anything extra. Next year, I'll be scaling up pretty heavily with ads. But I guess my thing is, if you have a list and people that have bought from your organic content, you now have an idea what your ads can do to convert. If you have that process all put together, some people, like I said earlier, I guess it was a bad, not necessarily analogy, but it was a bad example. I was saying, oh, if you're not good on camera, then you should do ads. Well, I don't want any of the viewers or anybody to go out there and just throw money at the wall, hope it sticks, whatever. Get good at this and then use your money to say, man, I created this piece of content. It made me income. I was tracking everything. Everything's perfect. Now I'm going to go make 4 variations of that type of video and run split testing at $25 a day on each one of those videos and see which one is converting well. And then now I can double down on that. As long as my ROAS is good, then I can do that and organic. But now I don't have to post what the gurus are telling people 3 to 4 times a day or whatever it is. I can go out there and say, hey, how can I use AI to kind of duplicate my organic content, knowing that it won't convert as much, but I'm getting my presence out there. But and then I have my ads on the back end that is hitting up the people that have already watched 40, 50% of my content. And if your viewers don't know, you can literally run campaigns on Facebook that if somebody watched 70% of your video, you know they're somewhat interested. Now you can actually run a retargeting campaign to those viewers and get conversions a little bit better because this is not the first time that they've seen you.
Yeah, and it's really smart too, because one of the coolest things that I think short form content gives us is, yes, it's easier. Yes, it takes less time. Yes, you can get massive reach, but it allows you to get feedback more quickly. And that's kind of the untalked about value of short form content is you can throw something out there, and if it works, it'll work right away. And if it doesn't work, it won't work at all. And you find out very quickly, sometimes within a day or two. So as I got into running TikTok ads, I didn't have to guess what was going to perform well. I just simply ripped my best performing TikToks and I ran them as ads. And you know what? They converted, and they converted very well. So yeah, it's definitely a great idea to start with organic first.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. And another thing, I think you said something before, Andre. If we think about meeting people where they're at, earlier we were talking about what is the most desired outcome. So for me, believe it or not, 40% of the people that work with me are affiliates that are struggling because they think that their biggest problem is their views, not the way they're communicated, not their offer, not anything else they have going on. It's just their views. They're like, oh, I'm using the wrong hashtags, or, oh, I'm not posting at the right time, or I didn't spin around and get on top of my head with the algorithm at this certain time. I do not care what time I post. I do not care how many times I post. I don't care if I leave this platform for X amount of days. One of the things that I did on my page was people were like, you have to post 3 to 5 times a day. I made a video and told them they don't. Actually, I did the complete opposite. You see, TikTok is going to show you the people that they think resonate with you. And when I opened up my new TikTok page, they were showing me 54% Africa. Now, I know this can happen to people in affiliates because a lot of affiliates don't know on TikTok that hashtag affiliate marketing, hashtag make money online, hashtag passive income, all of these things are deemed to be unsafe on their platform. I know this for multiple different reasons with all my research. If you search on desktop on TikTok, on the right side, you will get people also searched or other search terms that people search for. Certain keywords, they won't show you data there. So now I went into put the word drug or sex or something weird. It wouldn't show me search terms. It's obvious that those are words that are deemed to be unsafe or weird. But you wouldn't think make money online. Well, what's happening is the compliance department at TikTok are getting together and they're saying, hey, we banned 100 people throughout our month. What was some commonalities? And the compliance people say, well, 10% of them were OnlyFans and nudity. Then they say 20% of them was racism and hate speech. But 60% of them was scam, integrity, pyramid, scheme stuff. And the compliance department says, holy smokes, that's a lot. Well, can you tell me some commonalities? And now you have all the people looking for low-hanging fruit that are scamming, that are using the same keywords that us ignorant affiliates, myself included, are going out there to saying, I'm teaching people how to make money. So that's what I'm going to put in my hashtags. Yeah. And I'm bombarding it with. So what's happening is TikTok will push out your video to either your viewers or just a few people. And sometimes they won't push it to anybody. They'll just have 0 views on your video and you're wondering why it's that way. Well, I know this for a fact. I never talked about affiliate marketing on this new page. And after I had about 40 to 60% of people book me in 1 month that was affiliate marketing, I made an affiliate marketing rant. When I posted that video, it was stuck on 0 views for 4 hours. No video has done that before. And it was the only thing I had in that one is affiliate marketing for beginners, affiliate marketing truths or something like that. And I'm like, holy smokes, what's going on? I think I broke my account talking about affiliate marketing. So it was 5th hour, I ended up having 11 views. And I'm like, holy smokes, it's finally released. On the 6th hour, I had 200 views and I had comments. All these likes and views were from my audience. People that love me, people that like me, or whatever it is, from my actual followers. So now they were saying positive things. And then at the 7th hour, I ended up getting 10,000 views on that video. So now it's at like 9,900. So now I'm looking at it and saying, okay, based on my logic, what happened is they kept me at 4 hours until they can do a manual review. They watched that video and they said, we don't have a problem with this, but let's just send it to his viewers or his followers to see if there's an issue here. Those people said positive things, liked it, shared it at a higher rate. And they said, all right, release it to the Kraken, if you will, right? Just give it out to there. And now almost 10,000 views on that actual video. That's why when I got on camera and said, you guys have to be careful when you're starting out before TikTok trusts you, know you, like you, they're not going to show your content while you're going out there and using these keywords. So people's wondering why they're stuck at 200-300 views. It's because they're using bad, or should I say very, they're really looking at these keywords to make sure you guys.
Yeah, they're like red flagged keywords.
Red flag keywords. They're not necessarily illegal, but they're looked at under a microscope. So if your content's not good, your community's not liking it, they're not sharing and following it, hence why you're stuck at those 100, 200, 300 levels, because they're only showing it to your followers and you don't have any followers that know you, like you, trust you.
Yeah, that's interesting, because there's the debate is, some people will say you can't use these hashtags, for example, like affiliate marketing or make money online. Then you'll have someone come around and say, well, I'm using them, I'm getting 10,000 views. So it's like, well, what's the right answer here? What you just said is, if you have the audience that can then validate the legitimacy or the positive vibe, if you will, of the video, then it's going to pass through. But if you're sitting at 300 followers and you try to put out a red flagged hashtag, for example, then you don't have enough passionate followers to validate it, so it's never going to go anywhere. So that's very interesting.
100%. And I know this because in that group, I seen people get released with I told them to make the same content essentially in that group that I had last year. And I seen what was happening. So I took a few steps back to solve this problem. And when I figured all this stuff out, to kind of get back to they will actually show you to different countries, I was being shown 54% in Africa. And I'm like, how is this possible? Like, I live smack there in Oklahoma. I'm in the middle of the country. What is going on here? Yes, love my brothers and sisters in Africa, but probably not my target audience of what I'm trying to accomplish. So here's what I did. I left the platform. I posted 6 videos, I believe it was, and I left the platform for 32 days. Essentially, what I did is put the same SEO terms in every one of those videos. And every one of those videos, I was trying to get myself ranked, but at the same time tell TikTok, if they're not liking this type of content, don't show me over there. Show me the people that already have a behavior of liking it, because everybody started talking about search around that time. I came back to the platform, didn't touch it for 32 days, no lives, no anything. I gained 3,200 followers without posting for 32 days. I made 3 videos screaming at the top of my lungs how important SEO is, and I left for another 51 days. I gained 4,900 followers while I was gone from that time. All of these people were not in Africa. These were people that, since I wasn't being shown by TikTok when I post, my content was being searched. So if you go on TikTok right now and search best content strategy, I'm number 1 all over the place. Well, here's the thing. Paul figured out that Google was indexing TikToks. So if you go over to Google and you put best content strategy for TikTok, I show up on the first page. First 4 videos are my 4 videos on TikTok. So I've been getting clients from Google that if people Googled me and said, what is the best content strategy for TikTok? And because Google's indexing my videos, because I'm so consistent with my SEO, I'm actually annoyingly aggressive with my SEO. Yeah. It almost looks like spam. But because I know TikTok only cares for people having good experiences and staying on their app, then I focus on quality first. And it doesn't matter what I put in my description and everything else, because my content's good. I'm not trying to manipulate and get views for horrible content. I'm adding these things on top of good content to get me better results. I went from 54% African audience to 76% US by using this tactic.
And then when you say SEO, are you talking just on the description, or are you talking just on the words when you speak? There's also some people that actually put the keywords and then they hide it from the video. What?
Yep. What? All of that. All of that is relevant. TikTok at first was trying to figure out what you guys were saying out of your mouth. The reason for that is because people were using hashtags wrong. I don't even use hashtags anymore. 99% of the time I don't use hashtags. Why? Because most people are putting hashtag FYP, hashtag viral, hashtag cute, hashtag blessed, hashtag TikTok. This is an internal categorization thing for Instagram. We just was like, you know, we make these other apps since it's culture. They put that there. They're going to categorize us that way. But they can't wait where they show us to that. So they've been listening to what our words are coming out of our mouth. They've been listening to what we're typing on the screen. At one point, when they opened up longer form videos, it used to be a text bubble that comes above your head that says, please describe your video. That was my aha moment. They need to know what the heck I'm talking about so they can serve me. So I got aggressive with that bubble. And every time it opened up, I put best content strategy. Best content strategy, best content strategy. Because I figured out how many people were searching for it on Google. And I figured out 40% of Gen Z were searching on Instagram and TikTok instead of Google, according to Google's data. So if I know these things, I need to go out there and use these strategies in my content. And that's when I turned it around. And that's what I'm teaching a lot of people right now that are getting really good results, is how to use say it, swipe it, type it. That's essentially what Andre is saying. We say it out of our mouth. We put it in the description. We put those same descriptions on the screen. We shrink them down, and then we slide it over off the screen. Mm-hmm. Am I saying bad content is going to do great because they use these? No. What I'm saying is if you have good content that is not being shown to your target audience, then use this to get in front of people that resonate with your message instead of the anybody and everybody TikTok shows you to.
And also when you post a TikTok, it categorizes into like a category, for example, marketing, or it could be just like you, content creation, right? I saw that in a couple of my videos that I did in Spanish. They were categorizing everything in like different categories, and I never seen that on TikTok. So it's actually really cool how they do that.
Categorization is very, very simple. I charge for this. I'm going to give it away to your community for free.
Perfect.
Right. So there's a very sneaky way to get yourself categorized exactly where you want to. If I was showing my screen or whatever, it would be awesome to show you guys this because it's a very cool visual. I kept on getting categorized pretty much for the right places. But every now and then what's happening is TikTok will test you in different places. So for one of my videos, if I look up best content strategy, I show up for best content strategy. Then if I search for my second sentence that I put into the description and on the screen, I show up number one for that. And it's framework of viral videos. So I show up for best content strategy and framework. When I figured that out, I said, oh, TikTok's showing me to multiple different places. How can I give them enough different places where I think people will resonate with my content, and I can be in more places at once doing good? So they're bombarded with me getting views for each one that they keep on rotating me. Now, I noticed that some videos weren't being indexed and categorized. And then one day I randomly got categorized for affiliate marketing. I'm like, I didn't say nothing about affiliate marketing. What is going on? Like, how did I get categorized for this? I watched that video over and I had a call to action that said, let me know in the comments what your niche is, and I'll be happy to help you more. I went in the comments, affiliate marketing, affiliate marketing, affiliate marketing. And I was like, holy smokes, TikTok's listening to the comments as well. So how can I ethically manipulate the algorithm by persuading my consumers of my content to get in the comments to help me get categorized? So I made 3 videos. And in those videos, I said, if you want to know more about the 4x4 strategy, put best content strategy in the comments, and I'll be happy to send that to you.
Wow.
Now that video got categorized for best content strategy where I want to be at. Then I said, you know what, Paul, you can't just get on camera and say whatever you want because you're doing great at this stuff. Let's test it out for something that they don't know about. So what I did is got on camera and said, if you want to know the 4x4 method, put in the comments 4x4 method. They put 4x4 method. I got categorized by the 4x4 method. And now if you go look at the 4x4 method, my coin phrase that I teach people, there's hundreds of creators out there teaching people the 4x4 method.
Wow.
Something I created 3 years ago.
That's super interesting. You're putting keywords. You're making people categorize your own video by telling them the call to action to be a keyword. That's super smart.
And I'm calling out my target audience so I can go nurture those leads and get them onto these digital products and potentially buy my other courses, my one-on-ones, my master classes, and things like that. So it's amazing. It's fun.
And that's it, man. It is fun. You're
Yeah.
the quintessential, if we think back to a couple of years ago, at least from my perspective, you're the overnight success 10 years in the making. You got the background, but then you created your own stuff. And when you create your own stuff, you get to the point where you can create your own stuff. You can create your own methods, and it shows up in search. That's when it really gets really fun, and it makes you feel pretty good. So that's pretty awesome. Super excited to watch you and see where you go from here. Before we make you give away all your secrets for free, maybe you could just tell those folks who've been listening to us for 55 75 minutes now, whatever it is. How do they get a hold of you, Paul, if they want to come learn a little bit more? Where should people go to find you?
You can find me probably the easiest right now, Live Free Social on TikTok. I go live there a lot still. I really love doing that. Most people are going to get value out of those lives. My content is absolutely amazing in my opinion. But if you can catch me live, you're in for a treat. I have extreme fun doing it, and I give away the farm, and then I let people know that I have a ranch for sale as well. So please come join the live on Live Free Social if you guys want to follow it. I appreciate you allowing me to plug that on in there. And this stuff is exciting for me. So
yeah, thank you so much, Paul. You blew my mind right now. I was like, there's gotta be something a different way, So I'm just like, I really appreciate all your insights.
That's awesome,
it's really cool.
You guys, I look up to you guys big time. And being on this call, when you reached out to me after I made that post, and I know a lot of people don't know this, but I don't post on Facebook. I don't do this stuff, but so many people reached out to me from that one post, and I've worked with people from it. I'm like, I guess I can have the confidence to go on Facebook and start posting a little bit more, because I've been such a behind the scenes type of person that it's been out of my element. So thank you guys for having me on here. I'm pretty sure I'll probably get a lot more podcasts and different things because of this one. And I think it was pretty impactful. Hopefully it was for your viewers.
Yeah, I think there was a ton of value brought, and I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of value out of this, actionable value. And that's really what it comes down to. This isn't theory. You're a man who tests and comes with facts. So we do appreciate that. Of course, we'll go ahead and share your TikTok link down in the show notes or the description of this video, wherever the listener is tuning in. Before we go, Paul, the one thing we like to do on this podcast, kind of as a thank you, is just turn the tables. If you want, give you an opportunity to ask a question of Andre and I, if there's anything that's on your mind. If so, now is the time to do that. Otherwise, we can let you go.
Okay, Brian, with your ads on TikTok, as I'll be looking to run ads on TikTok, have you seen better conversions on Facebook or on TikTok from your actual ads?
Yeah. So here's what it really comes down to for me. And, it's kind of one of those things where whenever I've been running paid traffic, it would be in a not restricted, but as we talked about earlier, maybe a red flag or a yellow flag niche, so to speak. Make money online, affiliate marketing. That's the only niche or sub niche that I've ever really run money on. I've run probably 50 or 60,000 on Facebook, and I've probably run 60 or 70,000 on TikTok. So I'm not a huge advertiser. Let me first put that disclaimer out there. It's not like I've spent millions on ads. But what I can say is what I prefer about TikTok. I can't say what's going to give you a better, cost per action or anything like that, or CPM or anything like that. But what I prefer about TikTok over Facebook is two things. Three things actually. I think on TikTok, the data collection phase is a lot shorter. So, in the past, you think years back, the big Facebook advertisers were always talking about you have to season your pixel, so to speak, right? You have to, get data so they know who to look for. And I think that's still relevant. I mean, they can't find people if they don't know what they're looking for. So I feel like I spent a lot more money collecting the good data on Facebook, basically meaning I put more money up front before the conversion started to fall within my metrics that I needed to hit. Whereas on TikTok, I mean, it was like, man, I spent $300 and I'm already dropping down into the region where I can see that this is going the right direction. Or it might have been 500 or it might have been 1,000. Like, don't quote me on that, but it was considerably less. So I preferred that about TikTok. Another thing I really like about TikTok over Facebook is the attribution seems to be way more accurate. And I don't know what that comes down to, but it seems like, the percentage of attributed actions, and I usually get to the point where I'm trying to convert for a sale, not a lead, a sale very quickly. I might start with leads, but I'm very quickly transitioning. I mean, within a couple days transitioning.
I've always done that.
Yeah. Because I don't want leads. I want sales. So it seemed like the attribution was much closer on TikTok, whereas, on Facebook, maybe 25% of my sales didn't get attributed to the ad, whereas on TikTok, it's probably closer to 12% of my sales. Like I get 12% more sales than it's tracking, which, I mean, that's really not that bad. So I did prefer that about TikTok. And finally, the third thing that the reason I prefer TikTok over Facebook, and knock on wood when I say this, is the reason I stopped spending on Facebook is every time I'd get to about 25,000 in ad spend and things were humming along, Facebook would shut my ad account down. And once again, knock on wood, I'm still on my first TikTok ad account with, I don't know exactly, but 60, 70 in ad spend. And it's in the same orange flag niches. So that's the insight that I have for you on the two platforms. Other than what I already gave you is I tried creating ads where you follow frameworks, and maybe I didn't test it long enough, but it worked okay. But when I started just literally pulling my content off of TikTok and posting it as an ad, it converted right off the bat.
And that was what I guess I was really curious about, is because every now and then I'll have a video that does well, and TikTok will send me these little promotional things. I have personal accounts. I suggest everybody have personal accounts when they get on there. Just unknown things that I'm not sure about, like, of course we get more sounds and all that kind of stuff. I don't use sounds myself, but for other people, I'm like, man, if TikTok wants me to be a business, they probably want me to pay to play. They don't want to give me those views without me maybe considering advertising. But every now and then they'll say, hey, they'll show me my video and then they'll have promotion underneath it. And I'm like, man, I wonder if I should throw $100 at this and just to see what it does. Well, at the time, I never really tested it because I didn't have my beta coaching program done around content creation and all of this kind of stuff. So now that I have the masterclass and other things, I might actually just throw some money out there to see if I can get a bunch of people on a masterclass. But I can go live. And like this weekend, I had 22 people on my masterclass after going live twice and talking about it, which at $70, $80 a piece, the price is really, really low right now, which was, nice for me, just on a weekend, just to pick up some extra income. I was on there for about 2 hours and they're live. So I want to get to a point to where they're not live and it's, whatever amount of money I charge for it. And now it's a system and it's a process of me being able to do this over and over and over again.
Yeah. So, you just, record and redistribute, right? And what I will say is, I've never, I get those same TikTok promotion suggestions. Hey, promote this. And I never do that. What I actually do is just look at which ones are performing well, not only views, and I'm talking relative views. I'm not looking for one that's getting 100,000 views. I'm looking for, if my average gets 1,000 and this one happened to get 3,000, well, that's performing relatively better. Yeah. But what I'll do is I'll actually take that video, and I actually create all my content outside the app. So I have my computer, so I can just take it off my computer, but you could download it from TikTok. And then I go into the TikTok ads dashboard and I create a second account. It's like a dummy account or a ghost account. It's not my personal profile. It might be like one I've used in the past was Brian Brewer's Super Affiliate. Well, when you go on the TikTok ads dashboard, it lets you create an identity. And that's what I've done. I'm not using my actual promo. And then I upload through the actual TikTok ads dashboard, start targeting with hashtags, and then very quickly switch to lookalike audiences and then scale with lookalike audiences. So that's been.
You can't put in make an email for like if I have like some clients that I know they're high paying, blah, blah, blah. I can't put a email in there like on Facebook and make an email.
What I found with TikTok, and this is the negative, Facebook, that's great. I mean, if you take your email list and you take your most engaged or your buyers and you segment them and you upload them to Facebook and you create a list off, a lookalike, or even just a retargeting list. Let's say I have an email list of 1,000 people that I know are buyers or at least highly engaged, and I upload that to Facebook, I might get an audience that is 600 people that it can match, and then I can retarget to. One thing I'm finding about TikTok, and maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Just to be clear, I'm not saying I'm a TikTok ads expert, but
for sure,
when I try to match actions to audiences, so for example, when I take people and I run ads to them, cold traffic, run ads to them, and then obviously I'm converting for buyers, and then trying to build a lookalike audience off of those buyers, people who went through the funnel, put in a credit card, and hit the thank you page.
Yeah.
It's the number it's matching up is incredibly low. Now, I talked about sales attribution being excellent on TikTok, but the actual like building of that secondary audience, it seems to be a lot worse than Facebook, meaning you're not getting access to as many people as you do on Facebook. So that is something to consider as well.
Cool. Well, thank you, man. I won't take too much of your time about that. And Andre, the man who builds up Instagram accounts faster than anybody I've ever met. It seems like, are you still kind of promoting on Instagram right now? I thought I seen you recently, maybe on Facebook or a post that you started kind of getting back on there. Is that correct?
Yeah, I started testing new things out because, you always gotta test things out.
Yeah.
For example, I had those accounts that I grew super fast, right? And I ended up deleting them because all the impersonators, and I wasn't really active promoting stuff in English anymore. So then recently I want to test new things, right? So I have accounts in Spanish, like all around. So that's my focus right now. But in English, I didn't. So I wanted to see what's working now. So then I started a new account to see what works or what doesn't work, just to test things out. So right now I am actively on Instagram promoting different things. Yeah, but my focus is my Spanish program. That's for sure.
I asked because I'm going to actually double down and get on different platforms. I think I figured out one thing I didn't mention here is a lot of people are talking about the algorithm. I can care less about the algorithm. I care more about the human algorithm and understanding the behaviors, the human emotions. And if I can ethically manipulate those in a way that actually gets them to do the things that affect the algorithm with good taste, with good intent, then my content always performs. With that being said, I'm going to be testing my stuff out on Instagram here next week. And in 2024, Instagram and TikTok will be my platforms that I really try to home in. And hopefully I can kind of scale a little bit more because I'm figuring out a lot of stuff for myself and clients, and it's making me excited. So I might be hitting you up and asking you about some tips on Instagram here soon. So
yeah, well, just reach out on Messenger and I'm always there. I always reply. I never ignore nobody.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Well, cool, guys, man. Any other questions you got for me or anything?
No, I think that's it. It was a pleasure having you on the show. You gave us a lot of great insight. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this over. I had fun. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Yeah, it was our pleasure, Paul. Thank you very much. Maybe we'll try to talk you into coming on again in mid 2024 after you've figured out Instagram as well. And I won't hold you to that right now, but I'll just throw it out there in the universe. Maybe we'll see you back again. But I do appreciate
100% on board, man.
Okay, well now we got that recorded, so we'll see you in mid 2024. So we're gonna hold you to that now. But thank you for your time. Thank you, listener, for sticking with us for almost an hour and a half. It was one of those podcasts that just warranted it. It was excellent. It was outstanding. We'll make sure to put the links over to your stuff in the show notes or the description. And we'll see everybody on the next episode of the Evolved Marketing Podcast.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys later.